Today, I am thrilled to welcome Yalin Lezama to Career Confident Mujer. With over 3 years of experience as a therapist, Yalin recently discovered a passion for life coaching and launched her own business to help others transform their lives. I can't wait for you to hear her insights on resilience, growth, and the power of self belief. Let's get into this interview. Welcome, Yalin, to Career Confident Mujer. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. Such a pleasure to see my coach on the other side of doing this podcast. So I'm so excited. It's been a good morning and I'm ready for this podcast today. And I'm ready to see all about what's going on with you and the community and the world.
That's so good. I'm so glad that we can connect. I'm glad that we were able to do some coaching earlier on in the year, and you've grown so much. So I'm excited to really hear how you're impacting your community as a life therapist and a life coach. So I wanted to have you share a little bit more about your journey. You've come from a licensed therapist to now becoming and expanding to be a life coach. And how has this transition helped you build a better impact to the community?
Yeah, so as a therapist, I've been practicing it over 3 years, and I've noticed there's a gap with people who don't get therapy. So in my career as a therapist, I've noticed like there's a lot of people who don't come in that couch and sit in that couch. And I'm like, okay, I feel like there's something else I can do with those people that don't come to therapy, or even like they don't believe in the traditional therapy. So I feel like throughout my process as a therapist, I wanted to do a little bit more than what I do in that room, which is why I expanded to a life coach. And I'm like, I have more opportunities here as a life coach too, where I can target the population I want and where to specify my expertise to. So it's been an honor like to transition from a therapist to a life coach. And there's so much learning that I'm still doing, but it's been a great process so far. And I feel like my passion has really shined through the life coaching.
Yeah, that's so true because I feel like when we're in our roles as like a life therapist, like I work in education,
Mhm.
you're sometimes limited, right, on your clients that come through the door. But
Mhm.
by being a life coach, you can expand yourself and use all of your skills and become really more creative on how you want to take charge and serve your community. So that's really good. I love that.
Yeah.
What were some of the challenges that you faced when you decided to expand your skills and start thinking of becoming a life coach?
So for sure, one of the challenges, and I feel like when you were coaching me, it came out too. You were able to pick it out. It was the emotional challenge of imposter syndrome and the fears I had into jumping into something out of the ordinary that I felt. Because I was so used to my 9 to 5 job. And I'm like, what would it look like if I jump out of it and try something new? So that was scary for me. And I had those thoughts, right? Those imposter syndrome thoughts of what if it doesn't work out? Or what if my population doesn't react back, right? So I had those internal fears. A second challenge for sure was I did not know how to start the business. So it was a little bit scary as a first gen Latina. I was not taught how to start a business, or I didn't come from a family that were business owners. So it was a scary jump for me.
Yeah.
Um,
So, how did the Empowered Entrepreneur coaching program help you with that journey? What were some of your valuable takeaways?
Oh, there's so many valuable. I'm like, oh, it's so hard to like pick one, but I'm going to talk about a lot I got from the
Okay.
program. It was amazing because first of all, the it's hard to click with life coaches and career coaches. And I clicked with you right away. There's something about your energy that just made it easy to work with you. And thank you for that because I feel like it's hard to find someone who, with a great personality and also helping you stay disciplined with your plan.
Yeah.
So something valuable that I helped was also I'm a person who has a lot of thoughts and I don't know how to get them down on paper. So it was amazing to see you work your magic. Even in the first session, I was like, how did you do that? You were able to put my thoughts into like a structured plan and you gave me tasks to do. And the support system that was there, it was amazing because I need an accountability partner to help me stick to my plan, to believe in my plan. And when you brought that to paper and brought it to vision, it was the most emotional thing ever that I felt, that I was able to bring that vision to life.
Yeah, I
So
think it's
that was,
easier
yeah.
to grasp, right? Because when we're starting businesses, we think of this big goal. Like you had really big goals, right? You wanted to
Mhm.
build a community from like hiking events for women and just really build a strong community, but that starts with little steps. And oftentimes, when we're thinking about building a business, it can get overwhelming to know what we want as the end goal and then to see us where we're at. And it can become very stressful and overwhelming. So, what we did was we broke it down into steps where we kind of cater to how can you serve, what are the different ways that you can serve, and a plan for you to build out. I think we even gave you like a 90-day plan to just kind of like get started with building
Mhm.
that community and offering different services. But you've expanded way before, way
Mhm.
more with your goals, right? You've been doing like some guest speakers events and different things like that that has gone beyond what we planned at the beginning. How did that make you feel? That it was coming
That
together.
Yeah. And it was amazing how it started off like that, like the vision that you built for myself, like it came to life. And how can I want to like just pause and tell you, like, you helped me build my voice, like to find my voice, and it's becoming louder.
Yeah.
And beyond that, I feel like I gained that confidence that you talked about a lot. That confidence, it came out of my business and now into that guest speaker that I was invited to as a guest speaker to an event.
Yeah.
And I couldn't think, like, I was like, I never thought I would be a speaker, like beyond my one-to-one faces with my clients, meetings, workshops. I went out there to be a guest speaker, and it was so inspiring for myself to hear my voice out there and share my story with a lot of people.
Yeah. One of the key things we worked on was really at the onset establishing what is your ideal audience? What are they
Mhm.
frustrated with? What can you help them with? But also, like, what are your mission, your vision, your values? And once you start getting the language down of building
Mhm.
an empowering community or whatever that is for you, it's so much easier to just flow in a
Mhm.
natural state of work as opposed to getting flustered with all the ideas that you have, and it becomes clear to your audience. Therefore, you're getting hired at events because they know what you have to offer, as opposed to sometimes I think a big thing where life coaches get it wrong is they want to help with everything, but then
Mm.
they don't have a focus and they don't have a clear mission statement, which doesn't allow them to connect with the community because they're not focused, right? So
Mhm.
I'm glad we were able to work on those things with you, and it
Mhm.
brings and builds more opportunities.
Yes.
So, what do you believe? Why do you believe building a community focused business is important? And what advice would you give to others that want to start a business that makes an impact?
Mm. For sure. There was always this kind of a good feeling that we call it in women, that I wanted to serve a community where I can outreach and be there for people who need the help, who need help finding the voice, who need help getting started. I believe sometimes our community, we don't know where to look, and we get a little bit kind of surrounded by imposter syndrome or even generational traumas and patterns that no one raises us to look for help. No one raises us to ask questions. As a first gen Latina, we're muted a lot as a Latina, as woman and person of color. So we're muted to stay kind of in our lane or even in our culture, right? There's always a saying that I always remember, te ves bonita más calladita, right? So that kind of pattern stuck to me, but I'm like, no, like I need to find my voice because there's so much that I want to do. And it is why I want to give back to the community, because I know how it feels feeling muted and not finding a voice and feeling that gut in your stomach where you want to do something, ask for more and challenge, and it's hard for it to come out. So I
Yeah.
want to give that back to the community so it can also be like a circle of life where they also feel empowered to find their voice and they also empower others to find their voices. So it's like a give back and then it returns back to the community.
Yeah.
Yes.
On Career Confident Mujer, I talk a lot about like a purpose driven career. What does that mean to you? And do you feel like you're starting to lean more into your own purpose driven career?
Yes. And it's interesting when I read your title, it's a whole life process. It starts somewhere and it starts building and it kind of never ends because I never thought I would go from a therapist to a life coach, now to a guest speaker, and now here speaking at a podcast.
Yeah.
So I feel like the driven part, it's driving you. So you keep on driving and it's an endless kind of road of opportunities.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's all aligned with what you're wanting to do and the impact that you're giving. And you're meeting different women that was your ideal audience, right? So the more you
Mm-hmm.
lean into your purpose, the more
Mm-hmm.
things really start aligning like really crazy and opportunities come to you that you probably wouldn't have imagined.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you allows you to really dream bigger the next time, right? And think bigger. So
Yeah.
lastly, what are some of your future goals as a life coach, and how do you plan to continue growing your business and serving your community?
So the amazing part of me now feeling confident to get out there and attend a lot of woman-driven meetings, I've started a new project and I'm excited. I'm like doing a new project right now where I can hold space for women to come to.
Oh,
And
cool.
after that event and even like life coaching where it's led me, I'm starting a new project where I can host more workshops for women.
Oh,
And
that's
that's one of my
awesome.
goals. Yeah, I'm excited. And it's gonna be very, like you said, I remember that word you said, targeted to the audience you want. And it's been a passion of mine that there's a lot of women with different adversities where they don't know where to go to. So naming it and having that space for them to come is going to be such an empowerment for them and myself too. So I'm excited for this one.
That's
Yeah.
a really cool
Mhm.
project. If you can
Yeah.
offer spaces where people can convene and really grow, that's amazing. Especially after COVID, I feel like a lot more people need that community connection. And so many people are leaning towards finding groups on Facebook or finding people where they can interact.
Mhm.
I know I'm a part of a group called like Amigas in the IE in the Inland Empire, and
Mhm.
they do events. So I love that for you,
Yeah.
that you are building a space because we need spaces to connect, and especially
Yeah.
for marginalized communities that might not have access to those resources, they don't even know where to get started. So by for you
Mhm.
providing that space, you're being intentional about the communities that you're
Mhm.
building and the impact that you're making. So I love that for you.
Mhm.
You're
Thank
expanding
you.
into new directions. That's really
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
So, how can people learn about you?
Yeah. So people can learn about me on social media. I am on Instagram, and also there on Instagram, there's a little link bio where you can just link and click, and then I'll be there for a consultation. And I really like that first one call consultation for my clients because they get to know me, I get to know them. And just like you and me, I was like, I love her energy. So I needed that phone call because I
Yeah.
needed to see if we click and if I'm able to work with you. So that is why Instagram is huge. They can see videos, get to know me, what I do, life coach, therapist, and yeah, they can contact me through Instagram.
Yeah, so for any of our listeners here, Yaleen has a great heart and she is very kind. And I would love for you to consider her for life coaching. And if you're ever wanting to help you reach your goals and have a safe space to be vulnerable, Yaleen is definitely the life coach for you. I'll put below her information so that you can add her and get connected. But I am so thankful for your time this morning. I know that you are a busy mujer and it's election season, and I know that you're involved with that as well. So you have a lot of hats on, but you still smile through all of it because you are a career confident mujer. And I
Yes.
love that for you. But so thank you so much for your time and joining my podcast. And I can't wait to see what the future brings for you and your business.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Career Confident Mujer. I hope you found inspiration and valuable insights to fuel your own career journey. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Remember, you are not alone on this path. Take care and remember that you deserve it, mujer.